Lifechangers starts now.
I want people to think of the show as the answer show, sort of like a search engine for their life.
Now, this is a statistic that might startle you. 25%, that is 1/4 of high school seniors, claim they have easy access to heroin. Now, that's right. This isn't a projected stat or even a worst-case scenario. This is happening. This is the fact right now in our country. And I've seen too many lives destroyed by drugs. And when I received a letter from Todd about his teenage daughter being hooked on heroin, I knew I had to help. Watch this.
Madison was a daddy's girl and was very outgoing, happy.
My little sister, Madison, has always been close to me.
She's very kind and caring. She just brightens up the room when she walks in.
My wife, Laura, was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer and died. When Laura passed away, the kids, we all fell apart.
My dad, youngest sister, and I attempted to go to counseling and to get help and grieve. And
Madison, on the other hand, wouldn't talk about her mom.
that was sort of the beginning of, I guess, the downfall.
3 months ago is when I first found out that Madison was into heavy drugs.
I found out she was using heroin when I went inside her room, found a little balloon and foil. The next day, happened to look down in the storm drain and see a needle.
I've seen Madison go from being a happy, charming, beautiful girl to a withdrawn, depressed heroin user. It breaks my heart.
When I look at her, the best word to describe it is a zombie. I mean, she can't keep her eyes open, she can't keep her mouth shut.
I have seen her literally pass out at the table, eyes closed, as if she dropped dead.
My biggest fear is Madison dying.
I'm afraid she's going to ruin her life.
The fact is, Madison was going to die of addiction if she didn't stop doing heroin. Now, her family was ready for an intervention, and I have one of the best interventionists I know, Willie Oswald. Willie runs the treatment center Summit Malibu and has over 30 years of experience doing intervention. Willie, thanks for joining us, and thanks for helping out with this case. I appreciate it. So, if a family is dealing with addiction, must they have a professional interventionist?
It'd be my best advice to have one in the room, yes.
I'm actually glad you said that, because I didn't know what your answer was going to be, because trying to do it on their own usually doesn't do much, does it?
No, when you're fighting a battle, you want as many soldiers in the room as possible, you know, and
you need a couple generals in there with you.
Seasoned generals would be...
Well, let's take a look at the pre-intervention with Todd and his family.
We all know why we're here tonight. We're here to save Madison's life, okay? And we're gonna do one of the hardest things you've probably ever done emotionally, okay? You're gonna sit down and tell your sister a bunch of things she does not want to hear. Tomorrow in that room, it can go a lot of different ways. She can march right out of the room. She could throw a fit, scream a lot of obscenities. You may see her just curl up in a ball on the floor, and it's our job to get her to sit down and listen. You said you tried an intervention once before, didn't go so well. Did you give her any ultimatums at that time?
No, we didn't. It was not adversarial by any means.
Well, this one needs to be a little different. So you're gonna have to have some bottom lines. And what I'm gonna have all of you do is write out letters. And each one of them's gonna be about what that person was like to you, you know, when everything was okay. And the other one's gonna be really all about how damaged she is now. You're gonna be sitting there reading this letter to her. There's gonna be tension in the room.
We used to be very close, but now you seem to be unable to relate to anything other than your addiction. I would always look up to the way you lived your life, but now you seem to have cut off contact with the whole world.
I kept a secret for her one day and lied to Winston and Dad. And she was so high, she couldn't even talk right. I just felt so bad that I had lied to Winston and Dad.
On the last page is going to be your bottom line, okay? And what I want you to do is write down what you're willing to do and willing to stand on.
The thought of my little girl sticking a needle in her arm makes me ill. I cannot keep helping you if you are not going to help yourself. If you do not give in to these folks who are professionals and want and are able to help you, then I cannot be in your life at all. I will not see you, talk to you, give you money or help of any kind.
We're going to wrap this up, and really, tonight we're just going to pray for her that she's going to, take this gift that we're going to give her tomorrow. We're going to be a success.
And please welcome Todd, Winston, and Morgan. Thank you, guys. This is a very, very courageous family. Todd, were you worried that this wouldn't work?
I was incredibly worried. As mentioned on the clip, we'd had a couple interventions before. And
by interventions, you mean just you sort of confronted her. You didn't have a professional intervention.
That's right. We brought this ugly secret out, and and they didn't work. We weren't prepared for that.
Were you fearful of going into battle this time?
Well, I was fearful if it didn't work.
Yeah.
That was my biggest fear.
Got it. Okay, we'll be right back, and when we do come back, we're going to see the intervention that Willie helped this family do.
Up next, Madison's emotional intervention.
Before you leave, let me just tell you one thing.
Madison, just let me tell you one thing to what we have to say.